Okay, now that you've had a chance to play around with the graphics program Inkscape and move some stars around and do that kind of thing, let's talk a little bit more about the preciseness of mathematics when it comes to doing these operations. The first thing we want to do is define the word congruence. Congruence means same size, same shape, and that's the basic definition for it. One thing about congruence is that whenever you do a transformation, so you take a shape and you can map it onto another shape. So let's make a congruent triangle on this patty paper here. So this triangle I'm just tracing, so it's an identical, same size, same shape triangle. Okay, so that triangle is congruent to that triangle. Now I can use any sort of transformation, or the fancy word that mathematicians like to use is isometries. Isometries are just transformations. Translation is one of them. Translation is to move, so I can move this triangle anywhere and it's still congruent. I can reflect. Reflection is mirroring, so if I think of this triangle flipped over, this is still considered congruent. It's still the same size and same shape. It's just flipped. Okay, and then rotation is a turn, so I can turn this triangle around, and even though it's flipped upside down, it's still the same size and same shape. So a more precise definition of congruency would be to say that congruence is any set of isometries can be made to map the shape onto the identical shape. Okay, so if there's a triangle over here, let's go ahead and make one. So if I slide this over, and I think if I press hard enough and I make a little dent in the paper, I can kind of see it. Yeah, so this triangle is translated, and you can see that it is identical, and it's every point goes over by the same amount. So if I compare this length, actually here's a ruler. So this length here was about 2 7/8, and this is 2 7/8, and this is roughly 2 7/8. So they all move the same amount. That's translation. Reflection, if I make a reflection line, yeah, so let's go and make that line on here. If I reflect this triangle over that line, we also have a congruent shape. So I'm going to push down hard on there. And then you can see the triangle there. And this is what you're going to do on your activity. So that's a reflection of the triangle, and then finally a rotation of the triangle. So I could rotate about, well, let's say this point over here. So this goes, we'll say, over there. see the triangle. And what we have is basically a circle is made around this point. So there it is. Translation, reflection, rotation.